Bro Plata, where black people and white people talk nonsense. Listen, we have you on because every other episode we just talk at each other. So, you can talk as much as you want. It's fine.
All right.
As long as if Ray doesn't have to talk and doesn't have to steer the ship off the road like he usually does,
then
it's good. Yeah.
Look at me. I'm the captain now.
There you go. Yeah, you can have it. Good, because we drive it straight into a volcano usually. So,
except for that's the heart, Tim, and that can never be mended. You know that. The heart always breaks.
God, dude, one of your girlfriends take care of that for you.
No, they usually go, well, thank you for the free meal. Have a good day, sir.
Ray is a 60-year-old man in a 30-year-old's body.
I am, yeah.
If anyone doesn't know.
Nice.
His references are like way older than they should be for someone his age.
I would love to see that fight. And I would be rooting for Greg Hardy the entire time.
Anything. If you've ever wanted to see me in pain at any point that we've been hanging out, today's your day.
Ray, they see you in pain every time you do a set.
This is true.
Damn.
Yeah. So Thomas has seen it and Tim's never seen it.
No,
it was basically if Mortal Kombat was a shitty like Saturday morning cartoon. Like,
yeah, exactly.
They had like they had a Native American character on there. They had they had the street tough black guy. Like they had all the stereotypes. WMAC Masters.
There it is.
It's such a.
So
cool
you're saying
show.
it doesn't hold up? Is that what you're trying to say?
It does not at all.
It doesn't look full, Ray. Let me see that glass. No, Ray, top it off.
This is like goddamn amazing.
Yeah.
No, I just want you to follow the rules. What happens if you don't follow the rules? The wheel gets you back again.
This is true.
Why don't you two fight each other?
I've been thinking that, but I didn't want to say anything.
We have talked about this
I'm still at
for
shit.
years,
I
man.
can't fight anybody right now.
I am so down. I will meet him at a weight. I don't care if I have to gain weight to fucking fight Tim, but it would mostly be like it would be a rolling match in the cage.
Pretty
like
much.
somebody would take someone down.
What's crazy is out of all of us, Tim looks like he's most likely to be the wrestling fan.
I see so many fucking guys who look like Tim Danko at AIW shows. It's not even funny, and I love I see him. I'm like, I want to buy him a shot, but it's not Tim, and I get sad.
Yeah, and this kid's going to be a star, obviously, and that's what they wanted to happen. They want him to get a big win in London. They're hoping that was going to happen. I mean, did they give him somebody they think he could beat? Well, yeah, but I mean, it's not like Vargas isn't tough. Vargas is a tough guy. And yeah, Pimblett was a big favorite. But that's what they wanted to happen. They want this kid to be one of the next big stars, especially in the lightweight division. And now he's won two fights, one by knockout, right, and one by submission. So now he's going to fight somebody tough. And that division's super stacked. So there's tons of people he could fight. Before you put me on, I'm screaming at my microphone because you didn't put me on. I'm like, she's Mexican, you racist asshole.
I don't know
Spanish, you monster. But you didn't put me on because you wouldn't talk wrestling. He had two. I only had one fight. He had two fights, but my one fight lasted longer than his two fights combined by like a lot. I think these both of his fights were inside of a minute.
And how did your fight end, Tim?
I got TKO'd in the second round. And there's a lot of guys, strikers that have just became fantastic at takedown defense. I mean, Anderson Silva was good at it. Like Junior Santos was good at it. I mean, those are just the first two I think of. But there's been a lot that, I mean, if you're a striker like that, you have to have good takedown defense. There's been a lot of guys who have great takedown defense, and he's one of them. However, I mean, Robert Whittaker is a striker first. He's not a wrestler. And however, neither really is Cannonier. Maybe a little bit more, but I don't really expect Cannonier to fight him that way. I'm excited to see that fight, though. I don't expect Izzy to lose at all, but I like Cannonier a lot. And he's a tough guy, so I'll definitely watch that fight. But if either of us touch the other one's liver, we'll die, Ray.
Probably. That'd be fine. I want to be the first MMA death of like a true amateur, where it's like the worst fight ever. How bad would it be if you got MMA fight, bro?
Killed in the cage. You got killed in the cage by me.
Yes.
His liver exploded.
Tim Danko and Ray High Clack, a podcast dynamite. bring on their chaos. In the studio they confide. No pants, no rules, just a metal podcast stream. Road later, tearing at the podcast scene. Road later, mics ablaze. In the chaos they delight. Two comedians, metal knights, conquering the night. Raise a glass, join the fight as the voices swirl. Roll later, taking over the podcast world.
That's right, everybody. It's the time of the week where you go, I'll watch it. It's Bro Plata. This is episode 282, Battle Royval, named after the great Brandon Royval. No, 2 joints of the bear. I will don't tell him to shut up, because I probably was. I don't care. It's my show. Do what I want, people. Do what I want. What's going on, everyone? Watching on YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. Bro Plata on Kick. Go to it. We also have a Rumble page. Go to that so we can piss Tim off one of these episodes by putting our episode up on, or a live stream up on Twitch. Make it happen. We have 1 person on Twitch. We need 4. Okay? 4 people. We can stream on Rumble for free. That's all I want. That's all I need, to be honest with you. Just 1 simple, solitary little episode. And then I'll bring in the man, the myth, right here next to me. It's the lovely Pulse Reloaded. I was called you 2 joints. In my excitement, the fact that somebody else is here. My God, Pulse. I had to do Saturday alone. Well, Tim came in every once in a while, but I had to do it alone. So lonely in my house.
I'm sorry I left you hanging. I was trying to get home as fast as possible.
You never have to. Like I said, be safe usually means take your time. It's one of those things where, like, I can do it for half hour maybe, but when it comes to, like, I did 3 hours on Saturday of mediocre MMA, and I'm not even talking about the Bellator versus PFL fights. Oh, I went there.
Oh, did you not cover that?
I did not, sir. I would not pay $60 for that lineup. And only 1 PFL guy wins.
Yeah.
What they did is they showed the world Bellator was better with fighters. Like, it had the better fighters. And then Ryan Bader didn't deserve that heavyweight title. I mean,
wait. I think a couple Bellator. I know Yoel won. It wasn't the greatest fight, and then I think Aaron Pico. But other than that, yeah, PFL definitely squashed him.
No, I thought it was the opposite way around. I thought it was Bellator that beat PFL.
Well, I know, yeah. Ryan Bader got knocked out in seconds, so
yeah.
So PFL won there, throughout the night, I know Clarissa Shields won her fight, so that's another one for PFL.
Who won Bellator versus PFL? Bellator had won the night, but this is according to ESPN. Bellator won the night.
Okay.
But the biggest win, obviously, was the Ryan Bader knockout. I watched that fight. What were they thinking? Putting that savage, that animal, that fucking gorilla up against Ryan Bader.
Yeah, you know what, man? I saw the face-off, and I was like, damn, this guy's like a foot taller than Bader. And ultimately, this is just a sweepstakes to get knocked out by Francis Ngannou. But credit to this guy, Renan Ferreira. He knocked out Bader.
he's a fucking hoss, my dude. Like he's when all I had to see was one photo to know that this was not going to be a good night for Ryan Bader, and that was the thing with I think you talked about it, like that Tyson photo. Once you saw the fuckery, you're like, oh, okay. Here's Ferreira, here's Bader. It's a little brother, big brother situation. And just, wow, the power behind that kid is amazing, too.
Yeah.
He dropped Bader. That was... Because we all have that thing of Ryan Bader. You know, he was what he was in UFC. He was a contender. But, like, to watch him just get smoked like that was like, Jesus Christ. Now we have a new generation. And Francis didn't even stick around. Like, from what I heard Moss talking about that yesterday. They're like, Francis didn't even stick around.
Yeah, I think he's got a boxing match to train for. I don't think he's taking this too seriously. I don't think he really looked at either Bader or this guy Fahea as a real threat. And for good reason. He's probably... When he gets through with Joshua, whether he wins or loses, he's signed to fight for PFL, and he's most likely going to obliterate this guy Fahea. You know,
you never know. I mean, does this dude have a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu like pedigree or?
Well, I don't know. I spoke to my boy Jay Smooth. He said no, he's a striker. I know he is Brazilian, but I don't think he's a ground fighter. And so if he is a striker, and that means it's going to stay on the feet, that I don't think that bodes well for him, especially considering that Francis Ngannou is boxing now. But one thing I can say is he does have a reach advantage. I think he's got like an 88-inch reach, which is longer than John Jones, just shorter than Stephen Struve. So he's got that, but he cannot match power for power with Francis. So I expect Francis to knock him clean out, you know.
Yeah. I thought two joints of the bear, the commercial for the Ngannou versus Joshua fight was better than the entire card.
Yeah.
I haven't seen that yet. We should actually pull that up in a sec. That Joshua because that's what 10 days away.
Yeah, it's coming up pretty soon. I think sometime in March.
Okay.
Yeah. So tomorrow is the last day of February. So yeah, coming up.
Oh, last day of Black History Month, and he only got a day. You got an extra day this year. You guys must be happy.
Just happy we got a month.
I was fucking around.
No, it's because the Mexicans, they got one day, Cinco de Mayo. We got a whole month, so that's
that and Independence Day. They like to celebrate that. Which, Pauls, did you see what they announced?
No, what happened?
And we'll get back to the thing, but we'll kind of just set it up a little bit. The Sphere date.
Okay. Oh no, what's that?
The Sphere date is, I think, 2 weeks after Labor Day. UFC 306.
No, but I do want to react to some news that you informed me about, and that is that Tillman Fertitta, who is.
What were you gonna say?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. Sorry. There must be a mad delay right now because my internet sucks.
Oh, okay. No, I was going to say that Tillman Fertitta. One second. Sorry.
Yeah, that's a big story right there. The owner of the Rockets, Tillman Fertitta, Paulson, I'll discuss that once he gets off the phone. Yeah, dude, I'm excited. September 14th. I might finagle my vacation time so I can go to Vegas for the Sphere. To be in the crowd, probably $1,500 for nosebleeds. We're looking at maybe. Might have to take a credit card out.
to pay for these, but god damn it, I'll fucking do it. The extra day is for market appreciation. Yeah, I mean, he hasn't really done anything massive. Beat an old Fedor. Didn't really, isn't really the thing. But here's the thing about like Bellator's heavyweight division in general. It's always been very light. It's never been the focal point of the company like the UFC at times with John Jones right now just basically strangleholding the belt until they sign with Stipe. The heavyweight division's kind of dead in the UFC. It's not a great time for heavyweight MMA fighting right now, and especially with like Ngannou fighting in 10 days. If he gets boxed up by Anthony Joshua, then I'm going to be a little Timless Tuesday. Yes, it is 2 joints. Yes, it is, baby. Canada's not on the panel. We've had you on a few times. It's going to just be me and Pulse today. All right? We're going to have a nice, concise show. We're going to stay on topic. We get some sleep. We're not going to be going for 4 hours. I am, sir. Thank you. Yeah, I think I gotta take one more illegal antibiotic. Post Malone on Kick, you sexy bitch, sending your stuff. I don't care if that's Ryan Kills twice. Thank you for being here, brother. But we appreciate everybody that watches us. We do all like to be here on a Tuesday. And Pulse is coming back here in a sec, getting all situated. But yeah, man, like I was saying after you left, like the heavyweight division of really MMA is dead right now, and for Ryan and it'll show you how dead it was. The fact that Ryan Bader was a top heavyweight in a company, like it's shit's going wrong when a light heavyweight is really running the game, not like a John Jones who has the body for a heavyweight. But like, yeah, dude, who gives a shit about who gave a shit? I mean, I want to see what the buy rates were. I want to actually see how many people actually paid for Bellator v PFL, because both companies are just dying, dude.
Yeah, no, I don't think they did 100,000. I don't think they sold 100K.
I'll be surprised if they did 10K. Really, I am. Like the pay-per-view buys for like the lower level tier MMA organizations never hit the levels that like a UFC does, where it's like $1 million because they have a name on there. Nobody knows who PFL fighters are outside of maybe the hardcores and the Clarissa Shields fans. Kayla Harris is actually leaving PFL. Big hit, really, if you think about it, because it's going to take those PFL fans away from to the UFC now.
Yeah, like that's what I'm saying. I really wish that they had. I said it before. I wish that they had a fire sale. I know that the Saudis are trying to keep it alive.
Yeah,
but. Yeah, Kayla Harrison was their stalwart. She was like, the biggest name that they had, because Ngannou has not actually stepped into a cage yet, and neither has Jake Paul. So
yeah,
I said it before. I don't see them sticking around. I know they got their back by the Saudi money, but they're not. How are they gonna? We'll see what the pay-per-view numbers are. I don't know if they've come out already, but I don't see how that company's drawing a dime. So if they're paying $1 million payouts to their fighters, and they're not recouping that through views, I just don't see how they'll stay afloat. Bellator either. Because, like Kayla Harrison's left and MVP left Bellator.
Yep.
And so I just, yes, he did.
One of the biggest, and I'm going to say this, I've not been a big Francis Ngannou fan since the whole UFC heavyweight title debacle and all that stuff. But good on him for getting the fucking bag that he got and has basically just sat on his muscular black ass for the past year almost now. He signed with Bellator, hasn't it? It's been a while.
Not only that, bro, he's a ranked heavyweight boxer now. So
yeah,
like he gets the last laugh. Like he gets the last laugh. He can say he walked out. It's sort of like what's her name? Alondra Blaze. He walked out with the belt. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he gets the last laugh. I'm still upset we never got to see him versus John Jones. But other than that, I don't really see any other heavyweight in the UFC that was hanging with him. I thought Ciryl Gane had the best chance. He beat Gane. He was gonna beat Aspinall. He was gonna beat Pavlicek. So, he got the bag, and I'm not mad at him.
No, and to me, like the thing with let me see what it says here. The thing sounds or Saudis have lots of money. They're obviously losing money at first, but if they really want to keep, or if they really want to, they could keep it up going for a while. Yeah, but I mean, even if they see that there are people in the Riyadh arenas and all those kind of places aren't really going, they're gonna go, we'll back
out.
That's
the other thing. Like, they panned the camera up and there was nobody in the upper decks. Like, they just had seating around the cage, but nobody was in that arena, whatever the venue was, somewhere over there. Wow. So they're not selling tickets to the venue, and I don't imagine they sold many pay-per-views. So I just don't see how they can keep this racket going.
No, I mean you can only dump so much oil money into something before you're like, dude, we need to put this on the back burner and never speak of this again. Aspinall and Jones is the fight we need. No, we do not. One fight that I want to see, goddammit, and that's old man Stipe taking on fucking John Jones. Want it more than I want to breathe because I'm a Cleveland boy, and that's our fucking boy. Like, that's our guy. It's numero uno in this town when it comes to combat sports is that man, and he deserves at least a shot because Francis up and fucking just bailed after he realized he'd have to fight Stipe again. He'd probably lose. Francis.
Wait, Francis would lose to who? Stipe?
Yeah. Stipe comes back better every time. Look at the fights he's had. I mean, the Cormier fights, he came back bigger and better each time against DC. The second Ngannou fight, sure, I'll give it to you. Fucking Ngannou was the better guy, but never got the rematch. Never got the fucking rematch, dude. Like, Stipe deserved that rematch. It's tied 1-1 against those fuckers. You do a third one and call it a day. But Francis ran away like a bitch.
I would like to see Stipe and John too, only because I think it would be, regardless of the outcome, it would potentially be the last fight for both. That way you could just have, just put that to bed. And then you can, go ahead and let Aspinall start his season of reign,
Exactly. I think Tom Aspinall is a great heavyweight to have, like a great heavyweight champion. And, Britain needs a heavyweight champion. They've already got one. They need the other sport to really dominate the professional MMA world right now. I mean, all stops at the Gypsy King. We need another guy to kind of take over the slack. I mean, those shoulders are pretty heavy while he's just carrying the boxing world on his shoulders. It's Tyson Fury. Oh,
You know what though? I gotta say, if they do book Leon Edwards versus Shavkat Rakhmonov, we will officially after that fight have one British champion in the UFC because I believe Shavkat, that belt is as good as his. So,
Rakhmonov? Hell yeah, dude.
So
hell yeah.
It's like how MLS had to wait 10 years to start being really profitable. They're building it up out there. It's gonna take a little time, but if they want it to, it will happen. Just saying. I mean,
yeah, sticks and or fish and fowl, apples and oranges. And that, like soccer, you can be. I look at that Wrexham show. Ryan Reynolds and the other guy were losing money for like a little while. Now they're starting to make it profitable, but it's because they're successful.
Are you gonna wait? Are you gonna wait for 2034 for PFL to turn this around? I don't think fans are gonna stick around that long. I just,
how many Saudi princes are going to be assassinated by that time too? Think about that.
I don't see it. I just don't see it, man. Like, because basically their whole roster is leftovers from other organizations. And it's like the same thing with AEW. It's like, we've already seen that. Unless they're going to sign talent that the UFC can't, and that's not going to happen because if you're a legit prospect, the UFC is going to scoop you up,
Yeah. I mean, and that's how it should be. I mean, yeah, you have to make your own stars, but you have to also kind of make them happy, keep them there. The UFC can give guys matches that they've never had before, rather than like MVP versus, I'm just gonna throw out a name, just like the Pitbull brothers. Like nobody gives a fuck. I know they're in two different weight classes, but you're just like, all right, I don't really care, the thing about like Bellator and PFL is they don't have, and you brought up AEW and all that kind of stuff, and I'll bring up WCW. Those organizations died on the vine because they didn't have any sort of powerful
homegrown
advertising.
Homegrown talent. Well,
advertising though will sell that.
WCW had Bill Goldberg, so you can give them that, and they had Sting for what it's worth. But what I'm saying is that's about it. Those are the exceptions to the rule. You can't I'm gonna say this: the only company that ever was worth their salt outside of UFC to me was Strikeforce, and even they got absolved by the UFC. The only company to me that I watched one sparingly when like Mighty Mouse fights or Stamp Fairtex, but other than them, I don't really care about anybody else on their roster. To me, the only organization that's doing it is BKFC.
Yeah,
because I just like seeing guys fight bare knuckle.
Yeah, dude. I want to get that. I want to actually get that. I want to get the subscription just so we can the live stream BKFC fights on the channel. I think that'd be a lot of fun to just do bare knuckle from. And I don't care where. It could be 2 a.m. on a Sunday, and if there's like an English pro boxing or bare knuckle boxing thing, I'll fucking do it. Send me links all day, kids. But yeah. To me, and especially in combat sports, we've learned something, and UFC is. Can I give something that I wish Tim was here? I could actually piss him off with this take. The fact that organizations like Bellator, PFL, they're paying guys who knows how much for just to show up, and then you wonder why they fucking fold. UFC does it right because, fighter pay blows. We all get it. But they've been an organization for 30 fucking years.
Right.
Because they run the way they run. It's cool to pay Conor McGregor $5 million because he's worth it. What's fucking Aaron Pico worth? I'm going to say a couple $100,000 a year maximum. He's probably a $200,000 fighter at most. Hardcores know him. He's popular with hardcores, but he looks just like, the most cute Italian boy that only works at like the restaurant on Saturdays because he's got his music career. Like he's not marketable. And like PFL and Bellator, they paid guys who weren't fucking marketable, and they lost heavily. And Scott Coker, I think I said this on your show a while back. Scott Coker is probably the worst booker and manager of an MMA of all time, and it's been proven.
Is Scott Coker the equivalent of Vince Russo?
No, he's like an Eric Bischoff.
Okay.
Like he's the executive who cuts the checks. I don't know who they have over at PFL and Bellator as their bookers.
I think Ray Sefo, or maybe he's just a figurehead. I don't know if he's actually booking the fights.
Aaron Pico is one of my top 10 favorite fighters to watch list. Yes, I'm not saying anything terrible about Aaron. I'm a fan of Aaron Pico too. But are you gonna is he gonna like model watches? Like Conor McGregor can model a fucking Rolex and be like, I'm making $1 million just fucking off this. Like Aaron Pico can't.
Pico's got skills for sure. He can box, that's for sure. But the thing is, these guys don't do anything outside of, like you just said. Like, would you hire Aaron Pico to advertise something for you?
No.
Like a Gatorade gum, like you wouldn't. Like he's not. These guys are. It's just. It is what it is. They had the one guy in Bellator. He was like a discount Conor McGregor. I forget the guy's name. Irish dude. Oh man, what was his name? I can't remember his name. Little blonde dude, and he stole his whole shtick. And it's like that didn't work. Especially as soon as he lost, I was like, a good effort, good try. But you can't recuperate. You can't redo what Conor did. And I don't blame these guys for talking, because it's like that's what you got to do. But I credit guys who can do that. I'm not a fan of Kobe Covington, but I will acknowledge he made himself into a main event player. He talked shit about he beat RDA.
Yeah,
called them filthy Brazilians, and his life exponentially, from a monetary standpoint, got better. He was booked. He's been in 3 title fights. He lost them all, but he's been in 3 title fights. I'm sure he's made a whole bunch of money in the past 3-4 years. So I credit these guys who are able to do that, but like these guys, Bellator, they didn't have nobody outside of MVP who could really market themselves and distinguish themselves from the rest of the guys. The rest of the guys are fighters to me.
Yeah, sadly, the one that I think that kind of got lost in the shuffle, yet he shouldn't have, was Baby Kimbo. Like, if I was booking or I was in the advertising department of an MMA organization, I had the son of Kimbo Slice, that would be his gimmick. Like, I'd look at him and go, look, I know you don't like gimmicks, my friend, but we're going to do this because people are going to love you just because of who your dad is. And you can fight. So that works even better than that. But like, no, they don't know how to fucking do that shit. UFC does. Guys get it too in the UFC.
Yeah, no, the thing about that is, he's Kimbo's son can fight, and he kind of looks like his dad, but he doesn't knock people out like his dad did. So
no.
If that'd be a whole nother thing. If he was sleeping dudes left and right, then that's something you could really get behind and sell. But he's just I hate to say it because I don't do what these guys do, but he's just a fighter. He's not must-see TV to me.
Yeah, and that's the problem with like martial arts in general that I don't like. Like that guys are way too fucking just like, I'm gonna do this and whatever they want us to have, we're gonna be here, and I'm so glad, guys. Fuck you, throw something. I want that. I don't want full-on theatrics. I just want you to fucking be you kicked up to 11. Like,
you know what? That's one thing I gotta give credit to the UFC. Their fighters, they can make a name for themselves. Be it like Paddy Pimblett, maybe it's his haircut, but he makes a name for himself. Throughout the years, they've had guys like even Kevin Lee. He started to talk and build his character up, and he turned into a heel. He got people to hate him. Tony Ferguson, the same thing. and what's the guy's name? Michel Pereira, the little flipping Brazilian welterweight guy.
Okay.
You know, these guys have a shtick, so like it's like they can make money because they have a character, you know, and they can fight. But I don't, you know, for a company like PFL or Bellator, they're already not doing numbers like that, and so I don't see how they'll keep it going.
And that's the thing, like the problem. A little OCD moment there, but like looking at company like PFL, Bellator. I mean, I'm looking at the 2023 roster for like the PFL. I don't even know who any of these fucking people are. Like, you look at it and you're like, who the fuck are you? It's Connor. Like, who the fuck is this guy? Like, what made you think that like we were gonna give a fuck just because it's MMA? You gotta give us bells and whistles, kid. You gotta jazz it up. I know people don't like that. Ian Gary can make money renting his wife out. Yes, he can. Yes, he can.
No, but you know what? The UFC does this. They're like the New York Yankees. If you make a name for yourself in another promotion, they'll just come buy you up. You see, Gaethje was a star in World Series of Fighting, and what did they do? They signed him. Now he's a star in the UFC. They got Ronda Rousey from Strikeforce. They got Cyborg from Bellator. Now they got MVP and Kayla Harrison. If you make a name for yourself, they will come calling. Yeah. And you're going to go there because it is the premier organization, you know?
She's not worth the Dale's play. Fish that cut queen. Oh, I love our fans. They're so fun. Man, I wish there was competition. I wish every weekend we were like, what are we on this very show? I wish we could say, man, are you going to be watching, this, or are you going to be watching the UFC? Who's going to be divvying up watching these amazing fight organizations? And then it's just hype train after fucking hype train. And I agree with you on the Strikeforce thing. Strikeforce got me hardcore into MMA because they had some of the best fighters in the world at the time. Your Nick Diaz's, your Robbie Lawler's,
Fedor.
Fedor even then was kind of on the slide. That was Josh Barnett when he was Overeem. Yeah, I remember when Overeem was there. Who else? DC. I mean, DC came out of
DC. Luke Rockhold. Yeah, DC won their Grand Prix, and then he kind of leveled up from there.
Alternate. He won it as a fucking alternate. Think about that.
Yeah.
Oh, love DC. So glad I got to see him fight once. That was still one of the coolest moments ever. And my MMA fan was getting to see him and fucking Johnson too. That was so fun. But no, yeah, I think honestly we're looking. I give PFL and Bellator. Well, I give Bellator another year. I don't think Bellator is going to be anywhere near. It's on life support, and they're going to pull that quick.
You know what they should do? You know what they should do? Brock Lesnar is a free agent. He's banned by the WWE for joining Vince and assaulting women. So he's an unrestricted free agent. He can do whatever he wants. I don't think he's going back to wrestling. So if I'm PFL, since you're making it rain on people, go to Brock. Be like, yo,
back the Brinks truck up.
I think Brock Lesnar, as washed as he is, Brock versus Ngannou, that could do a number.
Yeah. Yeah, and it would garner enough controversy because of what's happening with the Vince thing, and it's Brock. I mean, his return, all you have to do is put a silhouette and maybe like that back tattoo, and boom, we've got a fucking pay-per-view buy. Like, steal a house, do it. But I give him 5 years, dog. Like, I give him 5 more years of just pitter fucking around. ESPN will drop them at some point because they're not doing the ratings that they should. Lesnar versus Ngannou is the only fight that would really sell pay-per-views. Yeah, dude. At this point for PFL, or Bellator, that would be the only way you get eyes, is you get some controversial figure like Brock to come in and do like 2 fights maximum. Don't even have him on a 3-fight contract. Just give him 2 mega fights, and he can ride off back to Canada to fucking be a farmer.
Let me ask you this, Ray. Do you think it's possibly an oversaturation of fighting on television? Like, I feel like people are low key just tired of between BKFC, ONE, PFL, UFC, Bellator. It's just so much that I think people are, and then you have the influx of these influencer boxing and shit like that. So it's like people are just tired of all this stuff. So many different companies. It's the same problem boxing has with all these belts. It's like, people have so much attention that they can dish out.
Well, to that point, I see where you're going. The thing with like boxing is like boxing actually has an opportunity for unification. MMA does not. They're all still over in their little fucking fiefdoms. They're doing their things, and nobody's belt collecting, which, in my opinion, is better. I don't like belt collecting. I find it kind of like, because sometimes guys won't. Alexander Usyk, I'm looking at you. Some guys will run away from, unification bouts over money, all this kind of shit. UFC, Bellator, they'll tell guys, like, you're fighting fucking this guy in 3 months. Get ready. And we're good. But, like, when it comes to, like, MMA, or when it comes to, like, the current slate, I like the fact that we have a lot of variety right now. I think it's a good thing. I think the fact that there's so many different options, does it get tiring? Yes, but I think it's a great thing because guys can go off and work at a BKFC who aren't really getting paid by the UFC because BKFC will do something, or PFL guys can hop to the UFC, Bellator, same thing, and make it, and you kind of make it interesting now because guys, there's a lot of free agency, right? Like, free agency is the big part of combat sports that really hasn't been there before, where guys are switching sports or going from one organization to another in MMA. I like the fact that we're starting to see that movement of fighters to do, like, a reshuffling and kind of getting the old guard in, getting fresh blood going. And, it does suck. I wish I could watch every single fucking thing I could possibly watch in one day, but.
What I want to see? I want to see, bro? I want to see a real-life Kumite. I want to see heavyweights from every combat sport. I'm talking about Rico Verhoeven, Tyson Fury, John Jones, Francis Ngannou, Gordon Ryan, for that matter. Just guys in different disciplines, all heavyweights, and see which martial art is superior to them all.
I mean, that's what the UFC started at.
Right, but now it's like primarily like every UFC fighter is it's a mixture of all different martial arts, but the ones that are doing the best, I feel, are Muay Thai practitioners with some jiu-jitsu thrown in there. But if they had something like that, is it possible that a guy like Gordon Ryan would just take everybody down and submit them? Or is it? I
think once you get into like John Jones, I think that's going to give him a lot of, because Gordon, how tall is Gordon Ryan?
I think he's like 6'2".
Is he? I thought he was a smaller chap. Gordon Ryan. Thank you guys, by the way, for watching tonight. Appreciate it. While Pulse is gone, we do appreciate every single person that watches us, YouTube, Facebook, or not YouTube or Facebook, but YouTube, Twitch, and Kick. trying out Kick. I might do Twitter next week just to see. I think Kick's cool, but I want to get rid of Twitch, but I'd have to pay for more memory. That's like the one thing that sucks right now is I need like an extra $18 to pay for like an extra month. But that's per month of fucking memory. So I'm trying to figure out a way so we can leave Twitch altogether. I want to see Gordon Ryan or Gordon Ramsay fight Muay Thai. I would like that too. I think Gordon Ramsay's a secret black belt in something. He has to be. Man, that dedicated. He has to be a little fucking. He has to be like in some martial arts and some control play. Let's go. But yeah, once you get into like the taller fighters, because let's look at Gordon Ryan's. Oh, he is 6'2", 6'2", 240.
Yeah, he's a tank, bro. So, and that's what I'm saying. Like,
you know how he got to be that tank, right?
Yeah, I don't know what he's ingesting, but I'm sure it's not all.
I've heard a lot of like jiu-jitsu, fucking black belts that have been around him. Yeah,
I'm sure it's more than just creatine. Like, I'm sure, but I'm just saying, because the Kumite, the movie, you had one guy who was a sumo wrestler, you had a Muay Thai fighter, you had it was kind of racist, but they had this one guy from Africa who was acting like a monkey, and then you had Van Damme, he was like a kickboxer, and you had different disciplines seeing who was the best. And I'm just wondering, is Gordon Ryan as a ground fighter? I know all fights start on the feet, but if it got to the ground, I feel like it would be done. But also, I feel like, who knows? Maybe Tyson Fury gets in there and with one punch, he'll knock somebody out. But ultimately, I feel John Jones will win if they did that, because he has the best mixture of all different skill sets. So I feel like his elbows would make sure he walked away with that belt. So, but that's what I want to see. And I feel like it'll never. I know it'll never happen because Dana White has this no compete clause in his contract. He's not going to let his fighters participate in anything else. But
some guys do. Some guys do like grappling tournaments and stuff like that.
Well, that's true. Yeah, he does let them do like ABC. And then now that WWE is in network. Yeah, I saw Michael Chandler on Raw, so he'll let them. But I don't think he actually lets them get into the ring. He'll let them do spit a promo.
Yeah, they've had a few. I mean, the most disappointing one was Velasquez and Lesnar at Crown Jewel and back in, what was that, 2018, 19, something like that.
You know what? I thought for a split second Cain Velasquez was gonna be a real wrestler for a second. Like, it looked that way. But then, what happened. But
just killed all momentum of because he did so cool in AAA. Like, when I saw him at AAA Mania that one time on Twitch, when he was wearing like the bull mask and shit, it was fucking great. And then they decided, we're gonna make this real. We need to make this. We need to give it real. No, let him fucking be Cain Velasquez, the luchador. I don't give a fuck, dude. This is Rey Mysterio.
Well, when he made his debut, I'll never forget when he was walking down the ramp with Mysterio, I believe. Mm-hmm. And I was watching the MMA holes at the time, and I remember somebody in the chat was like, "Bro, Cain Velasquez is in WWE," and I'm like, "No, he's not." And then I looked it up, and sure enough, he was walking down the ring, and you just saw the look on Brock Lesnar's face because they have history. And I was like, "Okay, they might have something here," but that was just a one-off. And it's like, that was a good pop, but there was nothing lasting about it. So
it was uneventful. It was like that armbar. He just got him in the armbar, and that was it. Like, what? Come on, man. Hated that one. Like, that's one of the worst Brock Lesnar matches ever, in my opinion.
Man? Where did you say Ronda Rousey is at these days?
She was in Ring of Honor for a hot minute. Like, I saw her make an appearance or two on like Ring of Honor wrestling. which is owned by Tony Khan, the AEW owner, which I'm giving my friend $10 fucking Sunday, Pauls.
Okay.
Because it's Sting's last match ever.
Sting still wrestles?
Yeah, 60-some years old, man. He still fucking
Bro, I remember watching Sting in elementary school. That's why it's like I'm just tripped out. I'm watching all these guys from when I was in junior high. Rey Mysterio and Randy Orton, all these guys, Edge.
Yeah.
Still doing it. But let me just throw this idea out there for you.
Okay.
Kayla Harrison is gone from the PFL now.
Uh-huh.
You think they should sign Ronda? Because with Kayla Harrison gone and Cyborg's not there, if she has any amount of skill remaining, she can kind of, bring it back a little bit. Like, I think she beats their roster now. She's like, she can't hang in the UFC no more. But even in the UFC, Cyborg's gone, Nunez is gone. Like, can she make a second run at this? Like, she's only like 33, 34 or something like that. So,
no, I don't think. What is it? 2 joints in a bear. There was a black wrestler in WCW that wanted to be the evil clone of Sting. His name was Stang. Yeah, I think it was Butch Reed, if I'm not mistaken.
Is that for real?
No. That would be awesome, man. Although if Ron Simmons, because he did the damn thing, he just would have been like, I'm Stang.
Funny.
Oh, I love it. But like, I think like Ronda, I think like Ronda was kind of oversaturated as well. Like, and she deserved it. I mean, she was winning. She was fresh. She'd fight it whenever. But like, then WWE came along, and you're like, okay, this is cool. And then you're like, please go the fuck home. I don't want you here. Like, it's getting annoying. Why are they giving her the belt for the 3rd time? Like, this is fucking stupid. But then, sometimes when she shows up in something like ROH, you're like, oh, Tony Khan just wanted to give Ronda Rousey a payday. Cool. I like it. Good for her. Take that bag, queen. Yas. Do it.
I mean, like, they don't, even in women's fighting, is like in the UFC, they don't have any more stars now. Champions. Right now, look at the UFC's women champions.
Grasso, Weili Zhang,
and Pennington just got a belt.
Oh yeah.
Nobody really moves the needle.
No, but women's MMA, I mean, there's been times where women's MMA, it has been a thing. Like heavyweight MMA right now, and even heavyweight fighting in general. Like there are lulls to that shit. Like Valentina ruled that division with an iron fist at 125.
Yes, she did. And when Rose was doing it, not just Rose, Joanna, when they were doing their thing, I tuned in. I made sure to tune in. And yeah, when Valentina and Nunez would, I would tune in. But now, I really don't care.
I mean, yeah, the champions are boring, but still, again, Kayla Harris is going to be hopefully a nice addition. I'm not saying she's going to be fucking gangbusters right off the rip. She is fighting Holly Holm at UFC 300 for fuck's sake. And that's a tall order at any age especially Holly Holm being the ageless wonder she is. But we'll get more exciting women. It just takes, it takes time. It takes time for people to fight. Erin Blanchfield, she's probably gonna end up being a superstar at some point.
I think she'll end up holding the belt, but you really think superstar?
I think so. She's fucking cute, and she can kick ass. What guy isn't going to want to watch a Kayla Harrison thing and possibly fap? Who knows? You have a lonely simp out there that's willing to do it. Fuck it. Give him the opportunity. I'm about sadness equity on this show, not for actual equity, but I am for simp equity. all of us are simps for Aaron Blanchfield.
She's okay.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, again, we're in a dead zone. We really are. It sucks, but we've had this before. And women's MMA, I think, though, the novelty's wearing off, but it's becoming more of like taking them seriously. Because even back in the day, nobody took a female MMA seriously. I mean, the famous story of Gina Carano and Nick Diaz. When Nick Diaz was like, I don't like what you girls are doing. I don't really like women's fighting. I think it's like strange. And it became one of the hottest sports on the planet. Like at one point. I mean, especially when Amanda was going in there.
You know what? It's not too late. My idea about tapioca, it's not too late, bro.
We're not going bra and panties yet. Okay.
You want to do a number. They should go in the opposite direction. See, WWE at one time referred to them as divas. Now they're the women's division. I say go back to the old rule. You remember the numbers that they were doing back then in the Attitude Era?
I do.
Make them strip.
All right, Vincent K. Pulse. All right, Pulse McMahon. You're gonna get on your knees, goddammit.
Oh yeah, I'm not saying make them. I'm not saying poop on them. I'm just saying make them.
Now take my shit. Take it.
Yeah, no,
I have a weird mustache.
But no, also, what I've been watching lately on YouTube, bro?
What's that?
I've been watching these street beefs. You ever watch these like in backyards? And the thing about it is, don't get me wrong, a lot of it is sloppy. But I like that though, because they'll get because they're really going for it. Whereas in the UFC now, ever since I guess ever since jiu-jitsu took over, a lot of these guys are turning into ground fighters, and it's becoming boring. That's why I'm glad for a guy like Topuria, because he's just straight knocking dudes out. I'm glad he's there.
Yeah, and I mean, there are like knockout guys, but right now I think it's like Tim would appreciate this. It's like it's the dead ball era of MMA fighting. I mean, we're getting a lot of guys who are just technically shit and pointing people or just laying on them, pulling a Habib and just taking a nap on a guy's chest because he's comfortable.
You said it, bro. You said it. That's why I'm so glad for guys like Justin Gaethje, because when Gaethje fights,
oh yeah,
it's like somebody's probably taking a nap.
And that's why I'm excited for that Max fight. Both guys can shut the fucking lights off.
Right.
At 155? I think it is. Max is going up.
Yeah, 155.
Yeah, but both guys can fucking. And Max is also a high volume guy.
Right. That's what I'm saying. And he's coming off of a one punch knockout. I know it was Zombie, but I'm just saying it's he can box. If he doesn't knock somebody out, like you said, it's going to be a high volume affair. He's gonna set a record for significant strikes on somebody's face. So that's what people like to see. And I've said it for years. If the UFC really wanted, if they paid guys based on the amount of action that they provide in a fight, a guy like Robbie Lawler would have $100 million.
Yeah. A lot of those guys probably would have.
Yeah, or Michael Chandler. When Chandler fights,
oh hell yeah,
it's gonna be like Jim Ross said, a slobber knocker.
Oh, I love those. I love a good. I do. I love those, and sometimes even. And sadly we didn't get it in the Ortega fight with Rodriguez. We just got Brian Ortega choking a motherfucker out. But, whoa,
that was my dog.
It's like, who's that douchebag on your screen, Pulse? Let me at him. I'll bite his nose off for you.
No, but you know what? Like we were talking about women's fights earlier. That's why I give credit to Cyborg. To this day, one of my top 5 fights is Cyborg versus Nunez, because you just knew that with them two women, somebody was gonna get slept, and it happened like that.
Oh yeah, dude. I love those kind of fights. I absolutely love to watch those kind of fights because, oh, hi, buddy. Like, feed me, daddy, feed me.
Yeah,
Pay attention, love me.
I think she wants some food right quick. I'll be
All
right
right,
back.
yeah, go feed the dog. I'll do the call to action, and we'll go from there. Thank you guys for being on with us tonight. Pulse just went to feed the dog. And we are Bro Plata. If you're not familiar with us, you're not alone. Feel free to do what it says. Do what it says. Give me some of those bacon strip treats. Oh boy, oh boy, oh boy. It's edibles. Tim is in Pittsburgh right now. Yeah, sorry, I had Italian for dinner. But Tim is in the state of Pennsylvania. It's in Pittsburgh for a Bowling for Soup show. So that's always a fun one. It's always good. Yeah, man, we're just talking, shooting shit. We're gonna get to the fights in a little bit, so hang on to your hats, kids, because we're here to just give you a good night of talk, and hopefully you guys enjoy the ride. We do appreciate it. I always, by the way, if you're new, and I ask for the like, 10 likes. That's all we ask for. We've gotten close a few times, but share it out. Tell people to like it. Let's get to 10. And if we get regular amounts of 10 likes, then we'll up it to 20. And we will go from there. We do appreciate everybody for being here with us. I'll bring Pulse back in. Hi, buddy.
Yeah, what's up, man? Yeah, so
Oh, sorry. That's my bad.
What were we talking about? What were we talking about? Oh, yeah. So as far as stars go, they keep falling off. Like Ryan Kills mentions Adesanya. They had one there. They had a legit kickboxer who made himself into a bit of a star, but then he lost. And now people are hating on him, and for good reason. I kind of don't like him myself, but
I don't know. I like Izzy. I think he's okay. I think some of the stuff he does is overblown. Like the Undertaker entrance, that one pay-per-view, could have gone without that. We don't need that, son. The dancing one in what was that, Australia?
Yeah.
Where he had his own dance team. Like,
yeah,
no.
Whitaker. Yeah.
Yes, stop. What are you doing? You.
Yeah.
It is weird. Like my thought process on like what entertains me. It's like I love the pageantry of professional wrestling. I love the pageantry of boxing. But for some reason, MMA should just look like two dudes coming out of like locker rooms on either side of an arena, and they just like they've never met before, but they meet in the cage for the first time. Like, to me, that's what's exciting. I don't know why. It's just I like that bare bones shit that UFC does. I don't like the dancing and the rapping and no. Music, entrance. That's it.
You know what I think would ramp it up, bro? I think that it should be a guaranteed $50,000 bonus if you get a knockout. And I don't care how many you have to issue out nightly. Like, even if there's 10 fights on a card and all of the people on the card get knockouts, then you issue out $500,000 in bonuses that night.
Yeah.
We'll incentivize people to put their opponent to sleep, and we'll incentivize them to not wrestle.
Yeah, I think those kind of things, like bonuses like that, would be a good addition to MMA, just on top of the pay, rather than just, oh, we're gonna give you, oh, you think you're worth $5 million, but you're really only like an Aaron Pico 200,000.
Yeah, I mean, like how many times do you see a fighter win and he's like, Dana, 50 G's, baby, and they're begging for it. Guarantee it, especially, or like put it like this. If you get a first round knockout, I don't care if you're the first fight on the prelims, guarantee 50K if you knock your opponent out. A lot of these fighters are not making what I call monopoly money. 50 grand might be the equivalent to what they take home for their fight pay. So if a guy's if he's only taking home 50K and you can guarantee him 100,000 in one night, if he knocks his opponent out, he's damn sure gonna try.
Yeah. And I wish the bonuses were a lot bigger. I really do, because the 50K is nice, but if you had a flash knockout where you stole someone's soul, you get 100 grand for that. Or if you had a submission.
Make it creatively incentivize them. Like if you knock out your opponent in the first 30 seconds, I'll give you 75 grand.
Yeah, turn it into career mode on the UFC.
I'm telling you, these guys would go for it. And if the first round ends and nobody gets knocked out, okay, then go back to your regular fighting. But make sure you can incentivize them to make sure the first round of every fight, we get some action.
Hell yeah, because I do. It happens in boxing too, and it frustrates the fuck out of me whenever I see it, is that the first couple rounds, you always see guys taking them off, and you're just like, what is going on? What up, Derek? Good to see you. Shout out Pulse Reloaded. If you don't like showboating, he's going to definitely hate when MVP knocks out Kevin Holland.
I'm calling it now. And I like Kevin Holland, but I'm on the MVP train. I think he's he's going for it. I think I feel like if he beats Holland, especially if he does it in impressive fashion, they're going to fast track him a little bit.
Oh, yeah. If MVP gets a big win, Kibbles and Bits, not a sponsor. No, we are not. That is not, sadly. I wish it was. It'd be nice. Sell my friends stuff because I don't have a dog now, so I just sell my friends bags of food. That'd be dope. If he dominates Kevin Holland, which if you guys have watched Bro Plata any amount of time, absolutely we are a pro Kevin Holland podcast. We always have to keep Trapper Keeper nice and clean in our minds and put a lot of stickers of Kevin Holland knocking out Jacare from his ass. It's the absolute best. I'm a fan. I love Kevin Holland myself. I think this is going to go to. I think that's going to go to the full three. Both guys are going to try to do some shit, but in the end, I'm going to say Kevin Holland takes it. I really do. I think it's going to be Kevin Holland, probably a 29-28 decision. It's going to eke it out just by this fucking much, dude. I honestly think MVP is going to get too flashy. He's going to try and show his shit. And Kevin Holland's going to go full Kung Fu Master on his ass. And
you know what? And I like Holland, but whenever he lost to Wonder Boy, that kind of soured me on his skills a little bit. Because I remember when I first saw Kevin Holland, I'm like, okay, they got something here. He's kind of like Adesanya a little bit. Then he moved from middleweight to welter, and I don't know, something about the guy. I feel like he lost power at 70. But they have some, out of all the divisions in the UFC, welterweight has some guys coming up. Now that they got MVP, they got this guy Jack Della Maddalena. For what it's worth, Ian Gary. Some people are high on him. I'm not, but But I'm just saying they got some players coming up. So, and then like I said, Shavkat, he's the uncrowned king in my opinion. So that's one division I don't think they got to worry about. But like you mentioned earlier, heavyweight, it's slim pickings. At the top, you got Aspinall, you got Pavlicic, you got Surreal. But beyond that, and then Jelton Almeida. But beyond that, nobody is a real contender to me. I feel like we've seen the best of Tuivasa. we've seen his ceiling.
Yeah.
We've seen the best. I hate to say it. We've seen the best of Derek Lewis. You know, Curtis Blades.
Yeah.
I don't think Curtis Blades will ever be. You know, I think it's fair to say he'll never be a champion.
Yeah. And I've seen Curtis Blades fight, and he's fucking impressive. But yeah, that's the thing with heavyweight fighting, man. Heavyweight fighting in any combat sport, there are times where you are pulling your fucking hair. Welterweight will be changed to 175 just to make soon. Then will be 165.
I'm not mad at that. I haven't heard that being a rumor, but I wouldn't be mad at that. I wouldn't be mad at the 65 division. And I think if they do that, they have a lot of people who will gladly usher that in. Like I believe that's what Kobe Covington should be.
Yeah, to me, like having that extra, having the 15 pounds that you have to go up from 170 to 185 is kind of dumb. I think like 165 should be a division. Call it whatever you want. Call it fucking, Connor's division. Call it whatever the hell you want to call it. To me, like you need that division because that it causes a scarcity, man. Because like a 175 guy, well, it'll not a scarcity, but for a little while, you'll have to have newer stars in whatever division jumps to 165, and whoever jumps to certain divisions. But like I think it'll add a little bit more, and it'll give some guys a lot more opportunity that can't make 155 or 155 and 170 is too big for. I think that'd be a good idea to just have guys be at 165, as he was talking about it recently. Yeah, I've heard about that 165 division. The rumor was they were going to make it for Connor, but maybe. But I think that's what MMA needs is like a couple new weight classes, especially for the guys. Like I want super heavyweight in the UFC. Goddammit. So wouldn't that be awesome? Just two 300-pound fat fucks going at it in a cage, main eventing for the super heavyweight championship of the world. Just two Roy Nelsons going at it. Just two full-on Roy Nelsons the entire time.
Yeah.
I'd sign Tim up for it. He could be one of the first UFC super heavyweights.
Oh, shit. No, I mean, yeah, like you got guys that barely make the weight limit of 265.
Yeah.
They don't have to cut it all. Something tells me it will be sloppy, but it's guaranteed you're probably going to see some knockouts. Like if Derek Lewis doesn't have to cut weight, but no. Actually, now that he's in shape a little bit, I think it's actually made him better in a sense.
They're doing it because Ratlip can't make 170 pounds. 170. Well, to make it for hazmat suit, I like. Why though? For just him, like, ew. He hasn't done anything yet. You need to stop. Fight on Ramadan, by the way, you fucking people. Come on. It's my entertainment dollars. You sons of bitches. Paying you. I pay your salary.
Yeah.
Hurt me to say. I'm sorry. I apologize. It was terrible. Oh.
No, you know what? I gotta say though about Khamzat. You know what? I was harsh on him at first, but I think he's slowly starting to. If you look at his record, Gilbert Burns, now Kamaru Usman, that's credible. That's incredible. It's credible to call him a contender.
Khamzat, like, he's entertaining. I like his personality.
I'm saying, unlike Bo Nickel, he's not fought all cans. He's worked his way up the ladder.
Yeah. Yeah. That I can respect. That is definitely a point. And he didn't. Khamzat's never cheated with a groin strike to the knee or with your knee to win. against Jamie Pickett, fucking up a $100 bet that I had. Whatever. Fuck you, Bo Nickel, you piece of shit. I'll have you on the show just to shit talk. Why? I'm in Cleveland. You can't fly out here and you can't fly out here. Shit. Fuck. All right, whatever. But yeah, I don't know. Again, we're like the star, like we're still kind of coming off of a huge amount of stars in MMA, where it's like we do need sort of a boring light, a little bit thrown on the sport, so all of a sudden new diamonds can fucking show out of the coal. Like there's got to be some that we've got to get new guys, because I mean it's especially in heavyweight. Heavyweight needs like all new shit, dude.
You know what? And this is why I said earlier UFC is king, because everybody thinks that they're this some traditional martial arts company, but they're not opposed to making what do you call, like freak show fights. Like they brought in James Toney, they brought in CM Punk. So they'll, Dana White is a promoter. He's gonna do whatever it takes to draw a dime. So they'll do whatever it takes. So with that being said, I've said many times that I want to see the Brawl for All brought back. If they won't do that, I don't think Dana White is opposed to bringing some of these guys from other sports. Like I want to see. I know he'll never do it, but I want to see if LeBron James can throw a punch.
Yeah, I don't know if he ever fought at St. Vincent St. Mary's. I can't really.
Well, I remember him being interviewed one time, and somebody asked him. They were like, are you, how many fights have you gotten into? And he's like, well, coming up, I wasn't unfamiliar with fighting, but he said, like, as soon as he reached a certain size, like at the age of 16, he was like 6'5" already, and most of his peers didn't fight him because he was so much bigger than everybody else in school. So,
well, yeah.
But I want to see guys from other sports. I want to see these other athletes. I said for years I wanted to see Ron Artest in the cage.
Meta world peace up in that bitch.
Yeah, or pick whoever you think is a badass from any sport. I want to see James Harrison fight. I want to see whoever a baseball player that looks like a badass. I want to see these guys.
I said the Ramirez cat from Cleveland who knocked out that Chicago player.
Oh yes, the shortstop from the Guardians. Yes.
Yeah.
I want to see these guys in these wrestlers too. I want to see if they have hands.
Yeah, there's some guys I know. Well, I mean, they got rid of Riddle. So Matt Riddle, he's currently in New Japan. I think he won the television title recently.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, against Hiroshi Tanahashi of all fucking people.
Does he still keep his shoes off?
Yeah. He still be in the bro. Hell yeah, dude. Tom Lawler. I would love Tom Lawler's been wrestling in New Japan for years now and doing pro wrestling. Fucking bring Tom Lawler into that tournament.
Well,
oh my god!
Not only that, I guess it sort of died down now about Elon Musk versus Mark Zuckerberg, but it doesn't even have to be athletes. It could be anybody from the. I want to see if Justin Bieber can fight.
Yeah, what would your if you had to do a card of celebrities? Living, we'll just say well, no, let's do alive or dead, because there's some fights I would love to have seen if I could do a sort of Kang the Conqueror thing where it's like a pocket universe.
I want to see Justin Bieber versus Soulja Boy.
That would be foxy.
I bet neither one of them could fight, but I feel like if you give them a 3-month camp and just show them some techniques, like how to throw and bring their guard back up, I bet you it wouldn't be, it'd be sloppy, but it'd be entertaining. But I just want to see people who are millionaires, because now that they're living high on the hog, they don't get into conflicts no more. They'll just, hire security to deal with something. I want to see if they can really get down. And better yet, all of these rappers that are beefing with each other, Hey, put the guns down, put your fists up. That should be a new slogan. And the UFC, or matter of fact, we were talking about PFL earlier. PFL should do this. They really want to, if they really want to move the needle and do something that's not being done, bring in celebrities.
Repeat that.
I'm saying if the Professional Fighters League wants to do a number, if they want to bring in views and do something outside of the box, doing something that no other organization is doing, bring in already famous people who have beef and let them get it on.
I like it. I would definitely I would love to see that, even like on a C or D level fucking thing, like Ronnie or the Situation from the Jersey Shore and a pair of fucking gloves going up against like Mike Mizanin of the Real World and Road Rules fame.
Yeah,
that would be awesome.
You know what? I would give that one to Miz. I don't know if he can really fight.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I want to see. I want to see Snooki versus like Ice Spice or something like that.
That I would pay for that one. I would pay hard money for that, and I would put money on Snooks because Snooks.
Bro, you remember when she showed up at WrestleMania and she started doing backflips? You're like, wait a minute, this bitch can do backflips now.
I know. I watched that match. I think it was like a couple manias ago with Shauna, because I don't know if she had ever actually seen the match.
Yeah.
And it just baffles me how athletic she was. But if you remember season 1 of Jersey Shore, a dude punched her in the face at the bar. Right. She can take a fucking beating. Like right. She's tough. I think Snooks gets it done probably second round if you teach her at least an R&R. I think, or an RNC. Why just get her in an RNC over and over again? Snooks could do it. I think she'd be the low center of gravity helps her.
Yeah. No, but as far as celebrity fights, for years they talked about Joe Rogan versus Wesley Snipes. I wanted to. That reminds me. I've been slipping. I wanted to make a video on if they did a battle royale of all your favorite action stars of the 90s and early 2000s and 80s.
Okay.
And I just want to do, but I want to do it like bracket style, like March Madness that is coming up. I wanted to do it like, and I'm talking about everybody from Chuck Norris to Dolph Lundgren to Van Damme, Seagal, all these guys, even throw in Jason Statham, Michael Jai White, all of these guys. And I want to do it tournament style and see who do you think, because for years we've been hearing that, everybody's calling everybody else a fraud. People calling Steven Seagal a fraud. And he's like, no, I have like 8 different black belts in different disciplines. But we only see these guys fight in movies. But if we actually got to see them fight in real life, which I don't think it'll ever happen because they're making millions of dollars now acting like they fight. But if they were really willing to bleed for real, who do you think will win out of all those guys?
You mentioned him already just because he has the Taekwondo background and like the boxing background. Spice is a dude, bro. I got Michael Jai White, dude.
You know what?
Like Spawn can get it. Like he would be the guy I think to beat in that tournament.
Honestly, I cannot say you're wrong. Like
Rogan, you put Rogan in there, he'll probably meet like Michael Jai in the semis, and Michael will like point him out a little bit.
That's the thing. Rogan, I know he can fight. Like I know he's a stand-up comedian, but I know he can also fight. Yeah. But in real life, he's like 5'5". And I'm sorry, I just feel like that would help. But then again, he also knows jiu-jitsu probably better than all these other actors do. So he could probably take somebody down and submit them. But if it was straight strikes, I don't feel like Rogan would do so well.
No, well, it depends. I mean,
I know he can kick. I've seen him throw a spinning back kick to a heavy bag, and it sounds like a shotgun. So I know he can kick. But I don't, for years they talked about him versus Wesley Snipes. They're basically relatively the same age. I think they're like early mid 50s. So I feel like they're the same speed, and I want to see what will happen. I know that Wesley Snipes, at least I've heard he can fight. I know he fights in movies, so I want to see.
Yeah. Norris, though, like, the thing with Norris is, and there's actual footage of like him on, like, I think it was like Michael Douglas or something. Not Michael Douglas. Who's the other fucking generic white boy? Dick Cavett. That's it.
I have to.
Does anyone find Ice Spice attractive? I would do her for the story.
I mean, her face is not all that, but she got that bunda, that badonkadonk,
Yeah, it's that her booty hole brown. So I'll take that. I'll get in there. But yeah, man, because then you look at like Schwarzenegger.
Yeah.
Schwarzenegger, if he was a grappler.
See, that's the thing. Now, I said action stars. I'd have to leave Schwarzenegger out. Like, I know he's big or whatever in his prime.
Same thing with like Stallone. I mean, Stallone can box, but
yeah,
like
Stallone can box.
You get him in that moment of like, Rogan could probably take down, like, submit a prime Sylvester Stallone, like prime Joe Rogan.
Oh yeah, you would have grappled now. Sure. But I'm saying if it was just all stand up, yeah, he'd still probably be Sylvester Stallone. Like,
probably the leg kicks would do him in if you really think about it. I think that would be Rogan's best weapon, is like that Antonio Inoki leg kick to any guy who's like a boxer, except for Jai. Jai will probably check him, but Jai White would. But I think Michael Jai White wins that bitch, and it's not because he's my favorite Spawn, the only Spawn. I wish there were more Spawns, but he is God Spawn.
Yeah. How do you think? Not now, but in his prime, how do you think Jet Li would do?
I think Jet Li would have held his own against a couple of the guys. Rogan, I think Rogan gets beat up by Jet Li.
That's what I'm wondering. Like, Jet Li, he was good and all, but he's like, in real life, I feel like he's tiny. You think that? And I know he does this shit in movies. He's like, but it's like, is that real or is that for show?
Well, I mean, Crouching Tiger isn't, but like,
right.
But I think like, and that's another thing with like Norris, Chuck Norris. I think
he was real. He was for real.
Well, yeah. I mean, he showed a thing against Dick Cavett where he was kicking it, trying to like miss him kicking, and he was like this close to Dick Cavett's nose with his heel, like just instant death if he's off. By a little.
And also, by the way, I'm talking about these guys in their prime, like at this stage. Chuck Norris is about 80. So I'm just saying, if these guys were in their prime, if you had a battle royale of all these guys, who would?
Chuck Norris would be in probably the semis, no doubt. Like, he might even be a finalist. He might be on the other side of the Michael Jai White, fucking pyramid or the brackets to meet in the championship.
Now, what do you think about Steven Seagal?
I'll admit this. I don't watch a lot of Steven Seagal movies just because like his voice annoys me. Like,
you know how like a lot of his stuff was far fetched. Like, he'll do a maneuver where he'll touch a guy on his elbow and he'll die. So it's like, is this real fighting or is this like,
his Aikido? I've seen him do like footage of him with Aikido, which Aikido has its practices. It's an okay martial art, but it's not practical.
But if they were in a real tournament style fighting,
like, I think Seagal's out round one. I think Seagal is a fraud martial artist. He has a legitimate Aikido background. Like, he does. There's footage of him as a young man doing Aikido. So that's fine. But I think like Seagal would be out first round. Like, he'd be a consolation guy in either bracket. If you really look at like his body of work, the fact that really he only knows Aikido, he's done.
His fights in movies, when he's beating up henchmen in movies, it doesn't look like real fights. Like you know, you brought up WMAC Masters. I know Derek Gardner knows about that. That was great. Okay, that was like Mortal Kombat in real life. But those fights, even though they were Hollywoodized, they look like something. They look like guys would get hit and they would fall back, and then they would, they look like a real stylized fight. But in Seagal movies, what was the one movie where he caught some dudes breaking into his truck, and there was all these gangsters, and like 3 or 4 of them pulled out switchblades, and he did one maneuver where he jumped up in the air, kicked one dude, and then in one fell swoop, kicked another dude with his other, like pivoted his body and then landed. And I was like, that would never happen in real life, So, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Seagal, I think Seagal again. He would be eliminated overnight. Like they would mail him his thank you for coming before he had his fight. I think.
Yeah, I would. Next, that was the one. I think it was Exit Wounds. It was a movie, but like that move in particular, I was like, get the fuck out of here, man. What are you doing? It was like that's not even real. But
Van Damme, or I mean
Van Damme, and he brings I think
gives everyone a run for his money.
Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah, Jackie Chan would definitely be. I would say at least in the conversation to win it, because he's a legit wushu, and he's done pretty much all the martial arts you can possibly do.
But we're talking about fighting. This is not stunt work, so he can run up a wall. But like,
well, I mean, if it gets him out of the way for distance, I'm fine with it. I'll applaud him for it. But he can kick, he can punch, he knows how to do all those kind of things. I think if you put it together in a camp, he could probably get something done.
Yeah,
I'm not saying he would win it, but he would definitely, I think, be in the conversation of like, well, how do you think he's gonna do here? Like, I would give him a fighting chance to at least make the semis. So, like, out of comedy.
I'm thinking of an action movie star. I know he doesn't really like showcase martial arts, but he fights in movies. I just want to ask you, do you think Vin Diesel can really fight in real life? I know he's a big dude or whatever, but do you think he can really throw hands?
I don't know. I mean, he doesn't really do that many fight scenes. Or if he does, they're like close up.
But it's like the Fast and the Furious. He'll pick up a wrench and throw it, hit somebody with it.
Yeah.
He doesn't fight people with his hands. So
although he does seem like the kind of guy who would do that, like get really mad at somebody and like take off a piece of pipe from his fence making company and fucking whack his best friend with it over the head. Like, I could see it. I could definitely see it, but like I don't think he's a fighter. Vin Diesel. I think he'd be eliminated early too.
Yeah.
Or at least as fast as Paul Walker eliminated himself. Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm just. Hold on. Oh.
Just a bit outside.
I'm not. Yeah, I was actually contemplating.
Just a bit outside. He tried the corner and missed.
I was contemplating a car crash, and I'm like, don't follow the fuck. Don't get hacky.
No, I mean, you know what, though? I got to say, though, since the 80s, there haven't really been too many. Has there been too many kung fu movies? Or like martial arts movies? There's been a lot of action movies, but has there been any?
Like Kung Fu Hustle.
Yeah, well, that was a comedy. I mean, like, other than Never Back Down, like, has there been any, like, fighting movies? Like,
yeah, Warrior.
Warrior. You know what? I still haven't seen that.
Yeah, I haven't seen it in a very, very long time. Like, a very long time. Jackie is a Shaolin monk training. The dude can really fight. Again, he would be in the conversation for me. I would talk about Jackie Chan, and then once he's eliminated, never talk about Jackie Chan again.
Okay, what's the dude's name from War? What's the dude's name? He played Bane. What's the actor's name?
Oh, Tom Hardy.
Tom Hardy.
Yeah, he was in Warrior.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
With our buddy Jake Digman.
But do you think the guy can really fight?
Isn't he a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu? Or something?
All these celebrities are taking Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu nowadays, so I don't even know what that means to be a black belt. Like,
ooh, I got one. Not even an action star, but he is a black belt.
Russell Brand.
Ed O'Neill.
Al Bundy?
Yeah. Al Bundy's a legit black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, kid.
You know what?
I thought I had seen him do some tournaments.
Yeah, but that's my thing though. It's like once these guys get status and everything, do they actually go through these do you feel like they just pay to win, or do they actually are they actually real practitioners, you know?
I think they're legit. I mean, unless you just completely stack the field in your favor. Like that's when it becomes a thing of because who is it? John Moxley from AEW. Yeah. he legit trains. I think he's a white belt actually. Still, but he won a tournament recently.
It's just I know I've heard several times before. I've heard conflicting reports. Joe Rogan swears up and down that it's the perfect discipline if you would ever get into a bar fight. But the Tate brothers, Andrew Tate and his brother, the other rich guy, digital pimp, what's his name? Tristan Tate. Yeah, they swear up and down that in a real street fight, BJJ won't work because you'll have somebody in the hold and they'll bite you in the armpit, or somebody else will kick you in the head and you go to the ground.
Sure, but I don't think we've ever had this conversation on the show when it comes to bar fights and all that kind of stuff and tough guy shit.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. In a bar fight, anything goes. You could have a mind to take somebody down and submit them, but they could just pull out an empty Heineken bottle and bust you over the head. In the streets, anything goes.
A million. I love my favorite guys are always the ones yeah, man, whenever I just black out and I don't know what happens, them bodies fall. You're like, fuck you. No, you don't. I don't want to hear you fucking. I remember one time, this is the dumbest thing I've ever heard somebody tell me. And I almost positive this is not true, where people have to register their hands as actual weapons. No, you don't. Calm your tits.
I heard Mike Tyson did.
I don't believe that you have to do that. Or I'll guarantee though they'll take that into more consideration if you're a trained fighter in a court case rather than be
I know he got. That's what I'm saying. I know he got into a fight with some guys at a hotel in New York one time, and they tried to pin that on him. They instead of just being a simple assault, they tried to call it assault with deadly weapons. And it's because he had bare hands, and it's you see what he does to guys with gloves on. So, but also I don't know the guys that picked a fight with Mike Tyson, and we're talking about prime Tyson. Is that, do you give them credit or do you call them dumbasses? Because on the one hand, you got to have balls of steel to do something like that. But then on the other hand, it's sort of like Darwinism. Well, why would you do that? You don't have a sense of,
your balls are too big for the sack. Meridote is the deadliest martial art known to man. Yes, it is. Tim is a pink belt in it, that makes him one of the most violent of all of them. But shout out to Master Ken. We need to get him back. Like the thing with what you just said, it's a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B. You know what I'm saying? Like they go together, and something when it comes to like bar fights and all that kind of stuff, you just need to like. So what? Somebody's gonna bite you. That's when you fucking take 2 fingers and shove them in their fucking eyes. Well, if we're already biting, rules are done, and I'm gonna fucking go for something I can really take from you. Sorry, but I know they're probably gonna try and do the same shit to me. I love those. Pauls, have you ever seen those fights? You ever seen what I call one-sided ass whoopings?
Yeah.
Oh, where the guy the other guy is like shocked that he just got punched, or like he just sits down like I can't believe I just got punched. Yeah, because you're being a fucktard. That's why the fuck you get fucking slapped, dude. Oh, love those. Love those. They're fun. Yeah. Because usually they start walking the other way as well.
Well, who's a dignitary, famous person, celebrity?
That you would the column A, column B thing for the Tyson thing. Yeah, I mean, I would go, oh, you had the balls to fucking say something Mike Tyson, but like,
yeah,
you fucked with Mike Tyson,
right? Like, like what are you doing? I think it's people who are looking for a lawsuit so that they can get some money, but even still, the ass whooping that you would potentially take to get that money, you got to ask yourself, is the juice worth the squeeze? You know.
Plus the witness list for fucking the fighter. Think about that, because they've got entourage, they've got managers all around them 24/7. If they don't, then they're stupid, or at least have a friend go with you. But like to just walk up to some fucking fighter. I mean, I walked out to Joaquin Buckley because people were taking photos of Joaquin fucking Buckley. Like I'd never just walk up to him out of fucking thin air and be like, "Hi, Mr. Buckley." That would be. I would deserve a punch after that.
Now, how tall are you, Ray?
5'10".
And how tall is Joaquin Buckley?
Good question. I don't think I was. I think I was the same height as him.
Okay, and he fights at welterweight. Okay.
Yeah.
The only reason I ask is like. I've heard some people, like a friend of mine,
he's actually shorter than me.
Rampage Jackson in real life, and he was surprised. Not that he was like a small guy or anything, but he's like I just assumed he was bigger. You know, he said he's like in real life. Rampage is like 5'11", which is not it's not short, but it's like I guess on TV it makes him look like he's like 6'2" or something like that, 6'3", but no, he's like 5'11", 6 feet.
Joaquin Buckley, by the way, 5'8".
5'8". Okay.
I did not realize that. He looked as tall as me when we were like standing next to each other. So that's interesting. But God, I don't know, man. Why would you even that's why whenever I walk into MMA gyms, I try to be the nice guy. Like right off the rip. Just so people are like, he's not an idiot. No, we don't need. Well, he's an idiot, but he's not an asshole. Okay, he's an asshole, but he helps out. That's all I want. Like
I think intuitively, guys, one thing we will do, like anytime we walk into a room, we kind of intuitively size people up. Like if it goes down, if I had to, could I take this person? So that's the only reason I ask whenever the people see MMA fighters or boxers in real life, any pugilists, like, because I've heard Floyd Mayweather is a tiny guy, but I know he can fight. So it's like I always wonder, I always ask people, how big was this such and such when you saw him in person?
Floyd looked very small to me when I saw him in Vegas years ago.
Oh, okay.
I got to watch him close the Gucci store at fucking Caesar's Palace. That was a wild moment, dude. Yeah. Oh, wow.
Now, by close the Gucci, what do you mean? He bought it out or what?
They locked the doors
Oh, okay.
And he had two of the big money team fucking security guards sitting in recliners facing the people.
Oh, okay.
And like him and his people were in the far back. And like came up a little bit, and all of a sudden I'm like, holy fuck. And yeah, he was small. I was actually kind of like surprised at how small he was when I saw him. But yeah, Joaquin Buckley, I didn't realize was 2 inches shorter than I. That's fucking weighs way less than I do. The fucking son of a bitch. How dare he? Oh fuck. Tired, Pulse.
You and me both, brother. I just put.
How's the job going, by the way?
That's what I was about to say. So I work from 7 to 4. I had to get up this morning at like 6 a.m. just to be there at 7. Well, I had to leave at 6 to be there at 7, so I got up at 5:45. And you know, as far as the pay, it's certainly better than the liquor store, but I'm not gonna lie, it's sort of kicking my ass a little bit. Like it's
physical labor will do that to you, man.
Yeah, like I'm planning, depending on how long we go. I was planning on going to Planet Fitness, but not to work out. I just want to take advantage of their massage chair, and I'm gonna ask the lady behind the desk if she'll let me.
Attaboy.
I'm gonna ask her if I can go because they have options: 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 25 minutes.
Yeah.
But one time she told me that the chair can actually be set to an hour. And I'm just gonna try to be nice to her and see if I can get a whole hour on that thing, man.
Yeah, slip her like a 10 or 20. Why not? You put it on for 2. My sacroiliac is really hurting me.
Hey, you know what? And I know Planet Fitnesses get a bad rap, but I gotta say, for anybody who's thinking about signing up for a gym, I give it a shot because they're everywhere. And for the massage chair and the Hydra bed alone, it's well worth it. And if you don't know what the Hydra bed is, I'm gonna do that too. Have you
It's so good. I used to be a Black Card member at Planet Fitness.
Yeah, I got my Black Card membership. That alone is worth the $25 a month to me.
Oh, it's 25 now?
Yeah, and at least where I'm at. And
thanks, Joe Biden, you fuck.
Yeah, and part of the membership is they'll allow you to bring a person with you when you go. So it's plus one. And it's all the amenities are available to you. Now, I don't particularly use a tanning bed for obvious reasons. But if you want to get your tan on, you know what I'm saying, I'm sure you could take advantage of that. And now I hear they're about to the gym I'm at, local one, they're gonna get a Hydra, what do you call it? What do you call that machine?
I know the red light machines.
No. They got cryotherapy, but then they also have this. What is that thing? Hyperbaric chamber.
Oh, really? They're getting one of those.
They're good. That's what I heard. That's the rumor. They're getting one of those, and they say like you spend an hour in there, it totally rejuvenates you. So
I've heard that.
Yeah, so shout out to Planet Fitness, and if anybody, I got nothing bad to say about them. Now, I've heard that when I leave the gym, it'll be a bit of a hassle, but I'm not planning on leaving anytime soon. So shout out to Planet Fitness. I canceled
pretty easily. I walked in and was like, "Hey man, I just want to cancel," and they just canceled me out.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I didn't have any kind of thing where I was like paying them or anything, so. Because I didn't owe them, luckily. I went to the one down here in like Solon, Ohio.
Oh, okay.
Years and years ago. Because I just didn't have anything to do, so I was like, I'll fucking work out. Why not? Should have went and fucking just started doing jiu-jitsu. Would have been cheaper.
Right. No, it's a good. I recommend that to anybody who's bored and doesn't have anything to do. Get your body right.
Fuck yeah. Unless you're Tim Danko, which is we need to get your body back into a normal shape. That's the first thing we need. Oh, I love Tim. He's having fun right now in Pittsburgh, that bastard.
Oh, did he ever show you the video of his karaoke night?
No, not yet. He needs to resend it to me because I have video of it. What's up, Sober Carl? Do they have punching bags, Pauls?
Nah, no bags.
They have battle ropes. I know they got at Planet Fitness. I know they got battle ropes. Should go, bro. Start doing fucking boxing. Go to I'll find you a gym close to your place.
Oh yeah, no, I do. I went to Mayweather's fight. You didn't? I didn't show you that footage of me.
No. Please tell me you look like Stephen A. Smith. I'm assuming. Just throwing uppercuts like shit.
I'm not a pro, but I got a little bit more skill than him. I can vouch for that.
I gotta get video of me actually throwing hands because I've never seen myself throw. Kind of don't want to, Pulse. I'm not gonna lie. I don't want to see myself.
I want to see video of Tim Danko, his one and only mixed martial arts match. That's my goal. He said there's video of it out there somewhere, and I just got to see what it looks like. I know he lost.
Yeah.
But I just want to see what it looks like.
I think that was our goal for 100. 100 subscribers, and we're almost to we're a little ways away, but we're almost to 2. If you want to get us to 200 subscribers, the goal for that is actually going to be me getting tattooed. I'm going to get the Bro Plata logo tattooed somewhere on my arm with something, probably the white people and black people talk nonsense thing, just for shits and gigs, and see how many people get pissed off at me. Pissed off white people, Pulse. They don't matter. They don't matter. White Karens don't matter. I think we can all agree on that.
No comment.
At least white Karens don't. They're the ones where you're like, I can do without.
Yeah, I can do without Karens. I can second that.
But no, yeah, and then we're trying to still. I want to see that fight. I want to call it. I want to do commentary over it and just down goes Danko, down goes Danko. Yeah, stop.
Well, I remember he famously said he was TKO'd in the second. Was he knocked out on the feet, or was he taken down and then TKO'd on the ground?
That's thing. I don't know, and I don't want to know.
You haven't seen the fight either?
No.
Oh, okay.
I want to see that fight. When he said that he had a fight back before we did Bro Plata, we've been talking MMA together for fucking years now. It's kind of how we bonded. Besides comedy, obviously, but MMA was like our bonding where we would be able to talk about it. And told me he had a fight, and I'm I
haven't seen Brewster in a while.
That's Brewster couch potato. That's Tim. Here's a couch potato. Oh, that would be funny if you could make Bruce do that in the UFC video game. Like that's your fighting style. That'd be fucking dope. But yeah, man. I want that fight. I want to see it. I want to call it. I want to see what Tim Danko looked like in fight shorts. We've seen what he looked like. We showed that photo on the show of him right before the fight.
I want to see him in competitive eating. I'm not even making a joke. I feel like he'll do well.
I mean, yeah, I think he would definitely be like a Pat from Munaki or a freak show. No, Pat from Munaki. He never won. He had 9 toes because he lost one to diabetes.
Oh, damn.
R.I.P. to the king. He actually lost a foot. Did he? Did you talk about the corruption yet? Robbery in the second fight, the cage grabber dude, etc. We haven't actually talked about the fights. But and I will admit, what I called or what I talked about on Saturday, the main card, that is what I watched. I will admit that. I did not watch the prelims. I just didn't care.
I didn't either. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like on Saturday, after the PFL Bellator card ended, I was out doing some stuff, and I made it a point once I looked at because I didn't even make Tapology picks. I said the only fights on this card that was important to me was the main and the co-main. So I picked up right around the time right before the co-main. I remember they announced that Raul Rosas fell ill and was off the card. So I watched the fight right before the co-main. Then I watched the co-main, Ortega and Yair. And then by the time of the start of the main event, when they were walking out, I was so tired. I just turned the TV off. And the next day, for whatever reason, I just assumed that Brandon Moreno won because he had already beaten the guy twice, I think.
Yeah.
And then they told me that Royval got the upset. I was like, holy shit, did I miss a good fight? But I'm like, oh well.
The the Royval Moreno fight.
Was it good?
It was odd. It was not a good Brandon Moreno showing. He was wildly throwing, way too much. Like he was kind of like almost setting up his punches a lot, where he was just kind of like, and then he would fling it forward too much. He's swinging wildly pretty much the entire fight. Royval looked like a fucking guy who could be a contender. He really did. But I mean, that was up against Brandon Moreno, who's just throwing wildly and not really connecting with much.
Well, I knew Royval probably wanted to put up a good showing after losing a title fight, but for some reason I just assumed that Moreno had his number, and I always felt like Moreno is at any given time no worse than the second best flyweight on the planet, so I just assumed he was going to win. So when I watched, it's a channel called MMA Digest, and they said that Royval had pulled off the upset, I was kind of surprised.
Yeah, it was, I think, a 29-28 decision.
Okay.
And it was definitely Royval who should have gotten the decision for that one. But yeah, I don't know. Moreno didn't look good. Brandon Moreno is usually solid for a 5-rounder, and he was just kind of holding back, not really doing much. And Royval was piecing him up.
Is it possible? Is it possible after the quadrilogy with Figueiredo that we're watching his descent from the top?
I mean, let's give.
I know it's just one loss, but I'm just saying though, because like some people have said that about Volkanovski. Like he's been at the top so long that we're about to see him go on a Tony Ferguson losing tear.
I was gonna say, yeah, Tony Ferguson also comes to mind when it comes to the that kind of thing.
I mean, Volkanovski was undefeated in the UFC and was the number one pound for pound fighter on the planet. He's now lost 3 straight, the last 2 by knockout. You think we're looking at because Kukui won 11 straight, then he lost like 7 straight. Volkanovski has lost 3 straight. That's halfway to 7. That's like, and depending on who they book him against next. Like I'm saying it now, if they book him against a rematch against Topuria, I kind of feel like he gets knocked out again. So that'll be 4 straight. But depending on who they book him against at featherweight, I don't know.
I'd give him a warm-up fight first if I was Sean Shelby. I'd give him a top guy just to defend his number 1.
That's what I'm saying. Even if it's just a warm-up fight, depending on who the matchup is, if they give him like Arnold Allen, coming off of 2 knockout losses, Arnold Allen might roll him up. Like that's a dangerous fight. Or
it could happen.
Yeah, but even like Giga Chikadze, he can knock people out. So I'm saying there's some dangerous fighters. Like even if they give him Josh Emmett, that's about all he can do nowadays is knock people out. There's some dangerous fights, so I don't know. I hope it's not over for Volk, but I don't know if we might have seen his best days.
Well, yeah, but again, like you said, he went undefeated in the UFC, so it's not like until these. So I mean, yeah, you're gonna get to a point. Everybody, I mean, so Anderson Silva's leg had to really break for him to, take it easy.
He's due for some losses, huh?
Yeah, I think so. I think Brandon Moreno, especially right now, is due for that. Volk, same thing. Like, you ride so high at certain points, the ejector seat's got to be pulled, unless you don't want to end up like Muhammad Ali, where you last too long, or B-hop or one of those, where all of a sudden you can't really speak anymore. Yeah. So your body's telling you, dude, it's time to go. Ferguson is the greatest example of that. Tony Ferguson was in, and we've said it many times on this podcast. You can go back and watch it. T-Ferg after Gaethje, that was that was the handle breaking.
That was the official turning point, yeah.
So I mean, this could be a turning point for Moreno. Who knows? But Royval just looks good, and Volk. I mean, yeah. Let's see what happens in at least the next two fights. Then I'll give my judgment on Volk. It's Islam. The two Islam fights, those were fucking not ideal. Right. But Topuria came in and took the belt. So if he gets a rematch against Topuria, cool. But I think he honestly should take some time off, hang out with the fam, and then come back refreshed after that.
Okay, hold on. I'm not going anywhere. I'm just taking a pill before we get into Yair versus.
Yeah.
I'll be right back.
Yeah, do it up. Yeah, we're gonna break down the rest of the card, and then probably go our merry ways tonight, boys and girls. I'm tired. I gotta be up early. Pulse is a working man like me. This is the blue collar show. We don't have Tim tonight to bring his ivory tower liberalism to the show. It's about working class men talking. Yeah. But yeah, we're gonna talk about this co-main Brian Ortega versus Yair Rodriguez Dos. Tony was a lot of close fights during his unbeaten streak. Too many miles on Body and Mind. Yes. Whew. Yeah, the return, Brian Ortega off of a shoulder injury, which they played a lot during the show, and for him to be there and be able, to do what he did was cool. But we'll talk about that more, because I actually went back and watched this fight before the show, and I didn't. There's some things that I noticed in that. And while Pulse is taking care of business, I'm gonna just put myself on here. Thank y'all for being here. We appreciate you guys for being always with us. Tuesdays, Thursdays, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here on Bro Plata. Make sure you subscribe. That's the one thing that you need to do, and turn notifications on. Do that right there, because that's how you're going to find more episodes. That's how you're going to get all the shorts that we do when we do shorts. So we'll have just a short dump. We should actually call that segment Short Dumps. Where we do multiple shorts on YouTube. You can see those. We're on Kick now. We're over that way. So if you're a Kick member, go over to your Kick page and then go find us, Bro Plata, for all that joy on that part of the site. Might start doing Kick only stuff. If I get bored, I might just hop on the channel on Kick and just talk to you guys if you want to join me. And just because I want to start doing some other content on this channel. Even if it's just like Q&A stuff, if you want to ask me weird questions or MMA questions, boxing questions, sounds super JK. I'm not even going to say the word because we might get banned on YouTube. Just means faggotry. What? But no, yeah, man. I think I'm gonna start doing something like that as well, where it's just like a half-hour hang or something. I might get on fucking loaded one night. Who knows? Oh my, nah, you're fine. I don't care. Because we won't. That's the beauty. Because we've already gotten a bunch of strikes. I got a fucking strike by. Oh, sorry, Pulse. We got a fucking copyright strike, and our stream was blocked after I showed some kind of Indonesian tag on fucking from that Tim watched, just to like have a video. But we got blocked for like a good hot minute until they edited out that fucking part on YouTube. I was pissed, bro. I was so angry, so fucking mad. God damn it! Fuck you, YouTube. Let's all go over to Kick. Let's all go over to Rumble. Fucking Truth Social. I don't give a shit. Next Tuesday, we're going to be on X, for fuck's sake. I'm going to take kickoff for thing and see how we do on X. Oh no, we have to get verified, don't we? Fuck. Okay. Sorry, I'm working out logistics in my head. God damn it. I love all people, guns, or guys, even women. I mean, they can be a little annoying, but whatever. You find the right one that'll steal your soul. It's how you look at it.
We're gonna review T City versus Yair.
Mm-hmm.
What you think?
I think Brian Ortega is amazing. When I mean amazing, I mean amazing. Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu practitioner. Yeah. I think striking is like ass after Chipotle and Taco Bell being shot up in ass. Like, it's just trashed. Like, he got dropped in the first round.
Yeah.
Hard. I don't know how he got out of that. He has such a chin.
Yeah, really, man. I thought he was about to get stopped like within the first minute. I think it was a minute and a half. He was like Yair was doling him out, and he was like, I thought he was about to get finished. I was like, man, after a year and a half off, this is what you come back as, Ortega. Like, damn. And so credit to him for withstanding that ass whooping that he was taking.
Yeah, and grabbing the leg. Yeah, I mean, what saved him was grabbing the leg. As soon as he grabbed a hold of Yair's leg and they were able to like back away a little bit, then we were fine. But like, the thing is, you can never. Brian Ortega is one of those guys you cannot let get a dominant position in any grappling exchange. That was Yair's biggest issue. I don't know what belt he is. I don't know what credentials he has in grappling. Hell of a striker. But like a guy like Brian Ortega rolled his ankle in the warm-up.
Yeah. Like he said that. Like, how bad would it have been if after the first fight, his last fight, which was against Yair, he pulled up lame, something happened to
his shoulder.
The shoulder. So after that, how bad would it have been if they have to take you out on the stretcher before you even get introduced? Like, he hopped up and down to amp himself up, and then he landed wrong on his ankle and almost rolled it. And all I could think about is something happened to one of the Kansas City Chiefs during the Super Bowl. Like one of the players for the Chiefs, he jumped up like to amp himself up before he took the field, and he landed wrong on his ankle, and he ended up tearing his Achilles. And I was like, how bad would that have been for Brian Ortega if they have to take you out on a gurney before Bruce Buffer even says your name, and then after a year and a half off, after pulling up lame in your last fight, and after the Raul Rosas Jr. fight got canceled, they have to cancel the main event because you can't even make it to the face-off. Like, that would have been embarrassing. So for him to come back from that and then to come back and win, I give credit to Ortega, man.
Weathered 2 rounds of, and then the second round. What I loved about it, him in the second round was once he got dominant position, even in open guard when he was elbowing.
Yes.
Rodriguez in the eyebrow like that and just popped him open.
Yeah, I didn't even notice how bad it was till the end of the round. I'm like, is he leaking? I'm like, oh shit, yeah, he's leaking bad. Damn.
The thing with Yair in this fight as well is he did something that like he doesn't really do, but I don't know if it was just because Ortega was just that powerful in the grapple or what. But like Yair, after he got busted open, kind of wilted.
Yeah,
like you could tell he wasn't really into it after Ortega was like pounding him down like Khabib on Conor. I mean, when he was in full open guard, stacked up the way he was, and Ortega's smashing him in the face.
Yeah.
You look at it and you're like, you saw him kind of look away from his coaches and be like, yeah, he's probably going to get me. Like you could tell he had given up after that second round, and I don't know why. Especially after the first round was so fucking good for him. If he would have just kept to a grappling or a striking game, I think he probably would have beat Ortega.
Probably so, if he could have stayed off his butt. Yeah.
Yeah.
But here, to me, this is the real question. So the first fight that they had, for all intents and purposes, it was a title eliminator. After that fight, Yair won it because he couldn't continue, Ortega that is. And Yair got a title shot against Volk, which he lost. But if Ortega had won, he would have gotten the title shot, the rematch against Volk. So my question is this now. Now that Topuria is now new king of featherweight, what do you want to see most? Do you give Mozov Evloev? Do you give Volkanovski a rematch? Or do you give Ortega a shot at Topuria and see if his jiu-jitsu can be what can thwart the knockout power of Ilia Topuria?
I think you do Evolov first.
Okay.
If he gets away from Evolov, winner of that fights Volk.
Okay.
And then Ortega. Because Ortega, I mean, again, Ortega just came off of an injury. Like, that's the big thing with him is he just came off of an injury after a year and a half being off. And this fight, again, as we said, almost fucking injured himself.
Yeah.
And I think you give him another fight. You see if he can continue this, and if he does what he did to Yair in the third to another guy, because he cinched that. When I was on here, like I think I if I remember correctly, I almost came because of just how like Pulse, you have no idea. Have you ever done jiu-jitsu before?
No.
When you all of a sudden can feel your bicep around a guy's like, and you know you're around someone's neck.
Yeah.
It's one of the greatest feelings in the world to just do this. Just
squeeze.
Yeah. Just I love you so much. When he popped through that and got that arm triangle, I damn near like I actually probably would have gone to Speedway or one of the gas stations around me and bought a pack of cigarettes. It was that good. Like I love a good submission where you can see everything and it just pops. It's and how about this? We didn't mention this part of the fucking fight. Rodriguez almost fucking taps Ortega.
Yeah.
Gets him in that guillotine.
Yeah.
Like, what the shit, dude?
Yeah.
See if my house shakes. You
What
hear
happened?
that?
No, what happened?
Oh, the lightning just struck.
Oh, okay.
It's not like southern lightning. Like northern lightning, it's kind of pussified. Southern lightning, from what I heard, will kill you. But like, the fucking it just hit, and I wanted to see if my house would shake, and it kind of did. I like a good like lightning strike. It can always be fun, but yeah, I don't know, Ortega. You give him another fight. Let's see if he can go up again, and then maybe Taporia or Volk or whoever has the belt at 145 will be waiting for him after that second fight. I think that'd be the best way to do it.
Okay.
So yeah, it's featherweight's kind of hard right now to judge because there is a lot of good talent there. A lot of good talent.
I feel like Volk deserves a rematch if he wants it. Max is next in line. Max is booked for his own title fight of sorts, but yeah, Volk definitely deserves it. This is really officially his only first loss at featherweight, but I kind of feel like he needs a tune-up. Like I feel like that he should get his confidence back against somebody. But then again, like I said, there are some dangerous fighters at featherweight now. Now that he's kind of his chin has kind of been touched up, I'm kind of scared for him, man. I don't know.
Yeah, Volk. Again, there's always a ceiling for a chin. Like there is an expiration date. There always is.
Yeah, look at Dominic Reyes. Yeah.
Yeah. Who else? Jimmy Manawa.
Yeah.
How fucking many times he's been knocked cold.
And James Vick. Remember James Vick? Like when his chin went, it left. Like it was like you look at him hard enough, he'll fall over. Like
I mean, when you get it will fuck with you once you take a heel to the nose.
But that's why people think I'm crazy for and I guess I'm giving an early prediction, but I'm calling Max Holloway to take that belt from Gaethje, and people are like, are you crazy? But this is my thing. Justin Gaethje has taken so much damage in his career, and if Max does anything, he'll beat you with volume. So the amount of punches that he'll throw, and it's not like Gaethje, for all the skill that he has, he's not the best at evading strikes. So I kind of feel like out of all the punishment that he's taken, and yeah, Garbrandt too.
Well, no, Cody's at 135 now.
Yeah, that's true. And
he's at 130. He's at 125, I think.
Yeah, 125, but he's back to his knockout ways. So
he is.
But I'm just saying, as far as Gaethje goes, I feel the accumulation of all the damage that he's taken and been able to walk through. I'm just saying, I think it's gonna take a toll, and we're gonna see it right next. We're gonna see Max Holloway become the BMF champion, and this is why. Don't get me wrong, Max has to avoid that power because certainly Gaethje can crack, but I feel like we're gonna see all the accumulation of all these strikes hit him at once, and this is what's gonna do it. It's gonna be Max Holloway beating him with volume, and that's why I'm calling Blessed Holloway as the new BMF champion by late round, like fourth or fifth round TKO. I think we're gonna see the volume. It's gonna take its toll.
I'm with you. I think Max is gonna win by TKO. It's gonna be a war of attrition and chin. Like that's There's gonna be, and Gaethje, I think, has a better chin than most because he gets into firefights. Yes,
that's what I'm saying. And
he wins
so long,
people have
been like, how long is he going to be able to eat shots like this? I think we're going to see it take a toll right now. And I think I'm calling it just like this. It's going to be like Robbie Lawler versus Rory McDonald. You remember when Rory, he just got brutalized in that face so bad that you just saw him just sink. He just covered up his face and just fell back. I think that's what it's going to look like. I think we're going to see sometime in the fourth or fifth. And also, I know. I guess we're probably gonna wait till Thursday. Is Tim gonna be back Thursday?
Tim will be back Thursday. It'll be a full boys episode.
Okay, well that's what I was gonna say because there is no UFC next week, but the week after is 299, and man, that thing is stacked. So
yeah, we got I know we got like what Rosenstrikes fighting this weekend.
Oh yeah, okay, never mind. There is.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's Rosenstrikes fighting this weekend. No,
because I'm looking at the website. So yeah, Fight Night Moreno Royval, but then it says the next one is 299. The next one after that is a Fight Night Tuivasa versus Tybura. So is Rosenstrike?
Yeah, it says Rosenstrike. It's going to be a 4 p.m. card. So
okay,
starts at 1:30. Eric Anders and Jamie Pickett are fighting in the featured prelim.
Okay, well, that's a good one.
Amon Zabai is going to be back.
I'm looking at the Fight Night Tuivasa versus Tybura, and they got a light heavyweight scrap between Oven St. Preux, who I'm surprised he's still on the roster. I thought for sure they would have cut him, but he's fighting this guy. I can't pronounce his last name. Kennedy
Nchukwu.
That guy. Yeah. So wow, I'm surprised. OSP still on the roster. That's all right. Good
we might see a St. Preux choke. Who knows?
Okay.
That's the main.
But yes, 299, which I'm sure. Okay, so there's a Fight Night card coming up this weekend, but we can still preview that one. That card is stacked. I can't wait. I'm gonna get back on my prediction.
Yeah, 299. I'm gonna actually have to watch the replay because I'm gonna be at a concert that day.
Oh, really? Who are you gonna see?
This band called the Tossers. They're a Celtic punk band out of Chicago.
Okay.
It's kind of gritty voice with flogging Molly instruments basically, and a lot of it's about the city of Chicago, even though I've never been. It's a great fucking live band, and it was only $20. So I'm like, I gotta go to this one. I can Uber and get as shit canned as I want to. Just hammered drunk. It's gonna be great. And then also the one I know I'm definitely missing is my birthday one, June 22nd, Saudi Arabia. Or no, I will do I'll be working. Yeah, I'll be working, so I won't be able to watch that. I'll have to watch that on replay either way because I'm not going to be able to watch that live as it's happening because that's like a 9 a.m. card.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah, because it's in like Saudi Arabia, so it's like it's the fight or that they had to reschedule or like readjust the lineup and shit because Saudi Arabia was like, you give us something that's way more better, and I think they have. Rumor was Hamzat's supposed to be fighting on that card or something.
Oh, really? Who's he fighting?
I don't know who they have as the rumored guy, but yeah, he's always though. That's one of those people will be doing. Ooh, Blanchfield versus Monin Farot.
Yeah, that's coming up.
That's gonna be pretty. Chris Weidman's still trying, isn't he?
Oh,
boy.
Who's he fighting?
Bruno Silva.
Oh.
Then you got Menefield and Allberg going at it. Chidi Njoukani is going to be on that card too against Rice McKee. Ooh, Verna's on that one too. The most handsome woman in UFC history. Face only a dog could love.
You talking about what's her name?
Rob Schneider.
Yeah, what's her name though?
Verna Jandiroba.
Verna Jandiroba, yeah. And you know what? I gotta say this, bro. I know people were giving 300 shit, but when it's all said and done, it's kind of a stacked card. Like it's not, you can't compare it to 200. You know, when we spoke about it earlier, you know, Cain Velasquez on the prelims and whatnot. But It is a pretty stacked card. I'm just gonna go over it real quick. You got Alex Pereira versus Jamal Hill. You got Weili Zhang versus Yan Xiaonan. You have Justin Gaethje versus Max Holloway. You have Charles Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian. Yuri Prohaska versus Alexander Rakic. You have Calvin Kattar versus Aljamain Sterling. Bo Nickel, Cody Brundage, Cody Garbrandt, Davison Figueiredo, Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm, Bobby Green versus Jim Miller, Sadiq Yusuff versus Diego Lima, and Jessica Andrade versus Marina Rodriguez. That's not a bad card.
No, if you look at this just on paper, it's a stacked lineup. Like that is something you create on UFC 5.
Right, that's what I'm saying. You got
pay-per-view generator.
I mean, you got Aljamain Kattar and Davison Figueiredo versus Garbrandt. Those are 3 former champions on the prelims.
And the Garbrandt versus Figueiredo is actually, I think, the first fight on the main card. Think about it. Davison Figueiredo
versus Garbrandt. Those are 2 former champions. And even Kayla Harrison versus Holly Holm, the debut of Kayla Harrison, that's on the prelims.
That's the featured prelim of UFC 300.
That's a good fight. And Bobby Green versus Jim Miller, that's a good fight.
Yeah, but for what could be Jim Miller's last fight, it's gonna be a fun little war to watch. But like, I kind of wanted fucking Matt Brown. I think that would have been a catchweight fight. Let's go.
Yeah,
that would have been amazing.
And then you know what? The 4th fight from the bottom on the main card, Charles Dubronx Oliveira versus Arman Sarukian. That's the main event of a fight night. And that's the 4th card on the main card. That's the 4th fight on the main card. Jerry versus Alexander Rakic. That's a great fight. Great like 205 fight, like heavyweight fight. So, and then Bo Nickel. I don't know much about Cody Brundage, but he's probably gonna lose. But hey, Bo Nickel, we get to see him. So that's a good fight. Good card.
Well, okay. Brewster's comment, I'm gonna say this. I take exception to that because, like, I think, especially like Max will bring people in because people know Max Holloway, and it's a hardcore card. I mean, it's definitely a hardcore fighter's wet dream, with the exception of the Pereira Jamal Hill fight.
I mean, but that's it's still a good fight. Like Jamal Hill versus Pereira, that's a good fight. I mean, look, don't get me wrong. If they booked McGregor versus Chandler, that would have been perfect. That would have been
one of the greatest UFC pay-per-views of all time, probably.
Oh yeah,
just buy rate wise, like people would have bought that and then you would have had a lot more fans because you just have fight after fight after fight after fight. This is like, I love fantasy cards when they come true. Like this to me is a fantasy card. It's something you put together and go, this will fucking never happen. Oh fuck, Kayla Harrison versus, even though she's over the hill a little bit, Holly Holm. That's gonna be fun, man. But sorry, I've been away from my phone. Did you hear from? That's just like a personal thing. Nothing even close to that. Well, again, this 300 is going to be interesting just to see the lead up to it as well. Like what the pressers are going to look like. What's Kayla Harrison going to look like standing next to Holly Holm? We're going to get a lot of sight tests out of that card for sure. Pulse. Yeah, I do believe, my friend, we should call it an early night.
Hey, it's 2.5 hours. That's we gave it the college try.
Hey,
that's respect.
And we covered the most important fights on the card. Doesn't really fucking matter. I mean, my thing is the only fight that I wanted, or that I really liked, where was it? The opening fight with the Mommy Torres and Chris Duncan fight, where Manuel Torres got a nice rear naked submission. It was one of the highlights of the entire main card. So we do not have a hero of the week this week, or we'll have one Thursday, probably from Tim. So we will hop off for the night. We do appreciate and love every single one of you crazy bastards for joining us. Make sure again, do this for me. Do this for me, please. This is what we appreciate the most when it comes to our show. Thumbs up, subscribe, hit that notification bell for all of our content. And as always, we will see you at the Kumite.